Hello, Amy. Can you tell me if my things have arrived at yours yet? I was told by the moving service that they had finished delivering. Yeah, we had loads of boxes delivered yesterday evening. What was all that? David said he called you, but you wouldn't tell him what you've sent us. If they've arrived safely, then that's all that matters. You haven't opened any of them, have you? I don't want you going through what's inside. You're not allowed to touch anything. David told me you said you didn't want us opening them over the phone, so I haven't touched any of them. But what are they? There's so many boxes, and we had an extra delivery this morning. I hope that's the last of them, because we really can't take any more. What are we supposed to do with them? We don't have the space to store them, and it's become more difficult to move around because they're all stacked up in the hallway. We can't keep them like this. What do you want us to do with them? It's fine, don't worry about it. You don't have to do anything with them. You have a spare room next to the living room, right? Just put them in there. That's all you have to do for me. Excuse me? Mary, I can't do that, and you can't just decide that for us. We're already using that room for something else. We can't use it for storing your things. Even if you are my mother-in-law. I'm sorry, but everything's still in the hallway, ready to be moved, so I'd be grateful if you'd have them cleared away soon. Don't worry, I'll be there soon. I'll tidy everything away myself, so you don't have to do anything. Everything will be out of the boxes and tidied away in no time, so just leave everything as it is. I'm sorry, what? You're coming here to take everything out of the boxes? I don't understand. Why would you do that? I should be there this evening. I'm asking you why? To put away my things. I don't want you or my son going through my things, so I'll organize everything myself. You don't have to do anything. You should be happy that I'm willing to do it all by myself. I still don't understand. Why would you send all of your things all the way here to organize them? Can't you do that at home? Oh, didn't David tell you? I thought you already knew that I'm moving in with you. That's why I've sent all my things to yours. I'm looking forward to living with you both, and I hope that we can get on well. Have you already prepared my welcome party? You'll have to set one up to introduce me to the neighbors. Excuse me? I haven't heard anything about you moving in with us. Are you sure you're not mistaken? David already said no the last time you asked to move in with us, so why would he change his mind? And first of all, I haven't given my approval, so there's no way he would do something like this behind my back. We can talk about that when I arrive. I'll be there by this evening, so make sure you have something prepared for me by then. No, you can't just decide something like that by yourself and force it on us. We don't have anywhere for you to sleep, and like I've been saying, we don't have the space for your stuff. I'm sure there must be plenty of things you don't need or use that you can throw out. The room next to the living room gets a lot of sunlight, so I'd like to use that as my bedroom. If you can clear that room up for me, I can work on tidying my things away as soon as I arrive. It should be clean by the time I get there if you start right away. Oh, and I get back pain if the mattress isn't comfortable enough, so make sure that you get one that's meant specifically for back pain. I love the memory foam, but the cheap ones are too firm, so think carefully before you buy. I still haven't said that you can live with us. David hasn't told me anything, so I'm pretty sure that he hasn't given his permission either. And what is David's dad going to do? Is he going to live by himself? Are you splitting with him? I don't want to live with James anymore. I want to live with my son. You won't deny me that, will you, Amy? Will you welcome me into your home? I've got nowhere else to go. You can't just kick me out into the street when I'm begging this much. What time do you think you'll be here? I'm gathering up the last of my things, so I should be able to leave the house soon. I'll be there by this evening. According to the train timetable, my train should reach the station around 4 p.m., so would you pick me up? I've got a lot of things to carry, and I don't know the way from the station. Can you come and get me at 4? Thank you. I'm going to go get ready. Mary, you can't come and live with us. Like I told you, we don't have anywhere for you to sleep. The room you're talking about isn't available, and we can't throw things out just because you need a place to stay. You can't decide this and guilt-trip me into letting you stay. But David already said that it would be okay. If he gave the all-clear, then there's no reason why I should ask for your permission. You should listen to what your husband says if you want to be a good wife. Do you understand? Do as David says or he'll start hating you. David told me that he never said it was okay. He says that he already told you couldn't move in with us. If you're going to insist, then I'll check with him again. But even if he does say it's okay, please know that I'm not okay with it. This is my house as well as his, and I won't agree to living with you. Why not? Why does it matter so much whether one person is living in your house or not? I won't take up that much space, and it's not like you have children to raise. What on earth could be the problem? Can't you pity your own mother-in-law and be generous enough to take care of her in her old age? It's not like it'll cost you that much money. You should be happy to live with me. I'm your husband's mother. So you want us to pay for everything while you stay with us as well? That makes it even more difficult for me to let you stay here. We don't have an infinite supply of money or space. Please don't be unreasonable. You're the one that's being unreasonable. You married my son. You should be the one taking care of me anyways. It's your job to take care of me. I just called David and he tells me that he never gave you permission to stay with us. He says that he made it clear that you can't move in with us. Who should I believe? My own husband or someone who's lying for her own convenience? Oh, really? I don't remember that. I heard him say that it was okay. That's not an excuse for you to try to force your way into our home. You don't have to phrase it like that. I'm much older than you, so please don't talk down to me. I'm not making excuses. I've no idea what David would want to marry a woman like you. He's so honest and gentle, but you're so rude. What could he have seen in you? It's a mystery to me. David said that he hasn't given his permission, so please stop. You can't live with us, Mary. We'll send your things back as soon as we can. It'll be a problem for me if you do that. I'm leaving this house and I'm not coming back. I don't want to live here with this man anymore. You're free to leave James if that's what you want, but you can't come here. You can't stay here and you'll have to find somewhere else. Mary? Mary? Please don't ignore my messages. Amy? Hello? Call not answered. Call not answered. Amy, where are you going? I've been waiting for 15 minutes. I told you I would arrive at 4 p.m., so why aren't you here to pick me up? What are you doing? Answer my calls. I've got too many things to carry. I can't leave the station. Would you hurry up and collect me? Mary, I told you that you can't come live here, but you were the one that ignored my messages. Call not answered. What are you talking about? I thought the conversation was over. We were supposed to meet anyway. And I thought we could talk about it then, if you really wanted to discuss it more. But you never came to pick me up. Will you hurry up? I'm not coming to collect you. Say whatever you like, but you'll have to collect me because I can't go to your house by myself. I have too much luggage. I can't get on the bus either because I don't know the way. You really haven't been listening to anything I've said, have you? I've already been waiting out here half an hour, and it's starting to get embarrassing. You're the one that's not listening to me properly. I can't collect you because we're at your house. We've already asked James about what happened. What are you talking about? We heard that you stole from his savings and spent his money without his permission, and that he got angry and asked for a divorce when he realized what you had done. I don't remember that happening. Are you sure that's what happened? My memory's been very hazy recently, so you can't blame me for something I don't remember. Apparently you wouldn't leave when he asked you to, so he suggested that your eldest son and his family come live with him. Didn't he? And that means that you have no choice but to leave, doesn't it? Because you were always horrible to your eldest son's wife. She even got depressed because of the way you treated her, and your own son doesn't want you to come near her. So you've never been invited to visit them. I heard that you've never been to see their children, your own grandchildren, because they don't want you harming their mental health either. That's not true. She's just too weak mentally. James is being ridiculous too. How can he choose his daughter-in-law over his own wife? He told me to leave because I stress her out. But why should I leave? I was here first. She's only here because she's married to our son. I think he's being fair. What did you say? James asked you for a divorce and asked you to leave because you spent his savings, but you wouldn't leave. I think it's only normal that he would prioritize the feelings of his daughter-in-law over you. If anything, you're lucky he hasn't been more harsh on you. You're lucky he hasn't forced you out and made you homeless. He could have done that whenever he wanted. but he knew that you had nowhere to go, so he's given you time to find a new place. You should be more thankful to him. Who do you think you are? I'm not going to let you talk to me like that. You have no right to lecture me. Anyway, every single box has been returned to your house. What? Why would you do that? James said he didn't want your stuff taking up space in the hallway while you searched for a new place, so all of the boxes have been stacked up inside the storage shed in the garden. By David. David did that, but I thought he was at work. He was, but when we decided that the best course of action was to send everything back, he left work early for me, because I can't carry heavy loads. I'm pregnant. What? Why didn't you tell me that? I can't believe it! You're pregnant? That's even more reason for me to come live with you and David. I don't see why that's another reason. You'll need help around the house when the baby comes. You'll be much more at ease if I'm around. You can go straight back to work and leave the baby with me. We're fine. When we're closer to the due date, my mom will be coming to stay with us for a while. She raised 4 children, so she'll be a great help. And I respect her as a mother. And I've already raised 2 fine boys. I raised the man you're married to, so that says something. You'll need someone like me around. I heard from David's dad that you haven't been helping with any of the housework these past few years, and you spend most of your time fawning over a young actor that you recently became a fan of. I don't think I can trust someone who's spent her spouse's savings on buying fan merchandise and doesn't even feel guilty about it. I don't trust you enough to leave you alone in my home with my child. Why do you know about that? I haven't told David any of that. I heard from James when I asked him how things were going. And when David was moving the boxes, he had to open the heavier ones to lighten the load. We saw that it was filled with magazines, CDs, and DVDs. You must have spent a lot of James's money considering the amount of boxes that were filled to the brim. You opened them? I specifically told you not to touch my things. If you've broken anything, I'll have you reimbursing me. I can't believe you would touch my things without my permission. Just how insensitive are you? By the way, your things would have never fit in the room you asked for, and that room has been set up for the baby, so you wouldn't be able to stay anyways. That's why I told you we didn't have any space, but you wouldn't listen no matter what I said. Then what am I supposed to do? I made all these preparations to live with you, and I'm already at the station. I came all this way. That happened because you didn't even ask for our permission before packing up your things. We never asked you to come, and we never said that you could stay. I think it's best that you go back to your house, or rather your husband's house, and ask if you can stay for a little longer while you find your own place. Your eldest son's old apartment is paid for until the end of the month, and he suggested that you could stay there. Might be a better idea for you to talk to them about that when you get back. Well, you'll have to apologize to his wife first. What about David? What did he say? Isn't he on my side? He'll let me stay with you two if you ask him. He's saying that he doesn't want to have anything to do with you. You've already caused him a lot of trouble in the past, and it seems that this was the last straw. We finally finished moving your boxes, so we'll be going home now, but I suggest you go back to your house while you still can, since there aren't a lot of trains running this evening. You'll end up having to sleep at the station if you don't hurry up and make up your mind. Even if you get back, I think the first step you'll have to take is to apologize to your eldest son and his wife so that they can feel comfortable with you letting you in. Considering all the pain and trouble you've caused, it looks like the real baggage is yourself. A few days later, Mary ended up having to carry all her luggage back home the way she came. She returned, but by the time she got there, her husband, son, daughter-in-law, and grandchildren were all having dinner. They didn't even let Mary in. But Mary had nowhere else to go, so she finally acknowledged what she had done to her daughter-in-law up until now and apologized to her. She was allowed back into the house under the condition that she would leave the next day. She spent the night, but had to wake up early in the morning to take her luggage to the apartment her eldest son and his family had been living in. But she would only be able to stay there until the end of the month, so she had to find a decent place to stay herself. In the 40 years she had been married to James, Mary had never worked, so it was unclear whether she would be able to find a decent place by herself. Oh, Lily, how are you? I was wondering when you'd return the dress I lent to you a month ago. It's an expensive dress, and I'd really like it back. What are you talking about? I don't remember borrowing any clothes from you. Aren't you confusing me with someone else? No, I lent you a dress last month when you said that you wanted to wear it to a friend's wedding. Remember? It's a little black dress. You said that you've always wanted to wear a dress like that, so I let you borrow it. Really? I don't remember anything like that. I remember wearing my own dress to that wedding. Are you really sure? It was just last month. You can't have forgotten already. I have a wedding to go to next month and I want to wear that dress. Could you at least check if you have a dress like that? You might have forgotten, but I'm sure I lent it to you. I don't even remember borrowing anything from you, and I don't know what it looks like. How am I supposed to look for it? Can't you believe me when I say I haven't borrowed it? I told you it's a little black dress. You said you wanted to wear it because you didn't have any black dresses. You should find it in no time. Did you lose it? If you did, you should just be honest. More importantly, who's getting married? Are you really going to a wedding? Why would I lie about that? It's one of my friends from college. She's getting married. Seriously? People your age still getting married? No way. That's hilarious. What's that supposed to mean? Is there an upper age limit to getting married? There's no limit, but I mean, don't you think it's kind of embarrassing? You're too old to get married. Don't you have any shame? If it was me, I wouldn't have a ceremony and get it over and done with quietly. I never imagined someone over 30 would want to have a ceremony and show off how old they were when they got married. I don't think it's embarrassing at all. 33 isn't that old to get married nowadays. If anything, I think it's become the norm for people to settle down and have kids later on. And why should someone put off having a ceremony? Because they're too old. A lot of people want to share their happiness with their friends and family. Really? I think 25 or 27 is a better age to have a wedding. Getting married and having kids should be done before you turn 30. Otherwise, it's just cringy. 33 just screams that you were late to the party. It lets everyone know that you couldn't find anyone to marry you until you got old. I disagree. Besides, your brother and I had our wedding ceremony last year, and I don't think there was any problem. Everyone was really happy for us. Well, Ken has the same DNA as me and looks young, so he looked good in his suit. But you were a sorry sight, Mona. I never thought someone could look so ugly in a wedding dress. I think everybody had a hard time telling you looked beautiful because it really wasn't true. Everyone was gossiping about how old you looked. How rude can you get? Can't you think before you speak? Why would you ruin my memories of my happiest day of my life like that? Oh, I'm so sorry. I can't help but say what I think. But I think it's better that you know the truth. You shouldn't run away from reality, you know. You are what you are. You're old. Everyone tells me that honesty is my best quality, so you should think so too. Honesty and rudeness are two completely different things. There are some things that you should keep to yourself, even if you think it's the truth, for the other people's sake. Really? What a pain in the ass. Old people are so noisy about the tiniest things. Just get over it. Old people? Are you talking about me? Yeah, who else? You're the only one that's annoying me right now, and you're much older than I am. Face it, you're old. I'm only 7 years older than you. You think that that's old? Then you'll become old in no time too. I'm still 33 and I still have a long way to go before I can think of myself as old. You mean you're already 33? That makes you an old woman. I'm surprised you're not embarrassed by how old you are. You should be more aware of your age. If you're not conscious of your age, that means you're not acting it. Don't you know that there are certain things that you should and shouldn't do when you get old? Like have a wedding, for example. Why should I? There's nothing I feel embarrassed about. And we shouldn't have to feel embarrassed because we're getting older. It's a natural process. If you can't accept that, you're going to have a tough time in the future. They say that ignorance is bliss after all. Good for you. But just letting you know, everyone around you is probably cringing. I don't care. I see there's no point in trying to get you to change your attitude. Can you just give me back my dress? I want to wear it, and it should be returned to me because it's mine. Do you understand that at least? Yeah, sure. I'll look for it when I have time. So you do have it after all. Why didn't you just say so in the first place? Why did you have to lie about not remembering me lending it to you? All you had to do was say you had it. You made everything so complicated because you were being difficult. What do you mean you have to look for it? I hope you haven't lost it or anything. You should be more careful with things that don't belong to you. I know it's around here somewhere. It'll come up, so chill out. You'll only lose your hair and get more wrinkles if you worry like that. I've heard from Ken that you're not good at tidying up after yourself. Are you sure you know where it is? I've said this over and over, but it was an expensive dress. I asked you to take good care of it, remember? I don't remember that. You should have been a bit clearer. It should be fine. It's in my room somewhere. You don't sound very sure. If you can't look for it, maybe I should ask your mom. What? Why would you bother my mom about something like that? She's too busy to look for your dress. How selfish are you? Do you think that the whole world revolves around you and your dress? Can't you be a bit more considerate towards other people? Look who's talking. You're the one that hasn't returned the dress they borrowed from me a month ago. And you're the one being selfish and inconsiderate here. And you're not even sure where it is. You're unbelievable. You have no right to talk to me like that. Blah, blah, blah. Whatever. You're really annoying. Even if you did get your dress back, do you really think you can wear it? You've gained a lot of weight recently. You won't look as good as I did in it, so maybe I should keep it. Oh, wait. Are you knocked up? Is that why you're so fat? Yeah, I'm pregnant, but why does that matter? It doesn't mean you get to keep my dress. If you want one for yourself, go buy one. Plus, we already told you we were going to have a baby weeks ago. Did you? I don't remember at all. I just thought you got fat. You weren't exactly slim to begin with. No, we already told you. You were there when Ken and I went to your parents' house to announce the pregnancy. You live there, so there's no way you wouldn't have found out even if we didn't tell you directly, but we did. I can't believe you're pregnant at that age. That's even more hilarious. You're not even listening to me now, so why am I surprised that you weren't listening when we told you? So what's funny about it? It's practically an old age pregnancy. Aren't you worried? There must be so many complications for a woman of your age to give birth. Why would you do that to yourself? You're over-exaggerating. Just because you think that everyone older than you is an old woman doesn't make me unfit to have a baby. Could you please stop being so rude? I'm starting to lose my patience with you. But I'm not even being that rude. I'm telling you what it is. That's all. You should be grateful. You're so sensitive. Be careful you don't get a heart attack, Grandma. I'm worried about you. Well, you don't have to worry that much. I'm taking care of myself, just like any other pregnant woman would. I'm aware that the risks do change as a woman gets older, but that doesn't mean you can ridicule me for wanting children. If you say so, but I'm surprised that you would actually want children at that age. Personally, I wouldn't want to take the risk. Is that so? Well, to each their own. Everyone has a different idea of how and when they want children, and whether women have children or not is completely up to the individual. I won't lecture you about how you should start to settle down and have kids yourself, but I just want you to know that I'm currently pregnant. You should be a bit more careful and watch what you say. You're always like this. You always have something horrible to say. You know exactly how to push a person's buttons. What? I should watch what I say? I've only stated the truth. What do you want me to say? You can't deny that you're more of an old woman than I am, and it's true that you're way too old to have a baby. But it's a shame that so many women are like this. There's always someone that acts like that when they're pregnant. Acts like what? You were going on about how you're pregnant and acting like you're better than me because of it. Women like you like to lord it over other women that they're going to have a baby. What? I don't think that at all. I didn't say anything like that. But you do, and you do. You said, I want you to know that I'm pregnant, and told me that I should watch what I say, remember? You think you can tell me what to do? I don't know who you think you are, but you're not my boss, and you can't talk to me like that. That wasn't my intention. I meant I'm pregnant, so you shouldn't push my buttons. and that you should be a little more considerate. In fact, not just to me, but to everyone around you. Anyway, please stop changing the topic. We need to talk about my dress. Just like I told you when you asked to borrow it. If it's been damaged or lost, you'll have to pay for it. I warned you before I lent it to you, and I've waited patiently for you to return it, so I think that's only fair. What? You want me to pay for it? I'm not paying for anything. Why should I? We're family. You can't force me to. There's no reason why I should listen to you. What do you expect? How many times do I have to repeat myself that it was an expensive dress? I made myself really clear when you asked to borrow it that it was from an expensive brand. I didn't want to lend it to you even in the first place. But you were really insistent that you wanted to wear it. I only lent it to you under the condition that it would be just for one day. And you promised yourself that you would pay for it if there was any damage. But it's already been a month. You sound unsure of where it even is, and you've conveniently forgotten about the promise you made. Even you must realize how irresponsible you're being. Anyone would agree with me when I say that you're really lacking in common sense. Usually this is where people apologize for taking so long to return something and explain why, if they have a good reason. If not, they'd at least offer to reimburse. If you really didn't want to lend it to me, then you should have said so. That's your own fault, Mona. Don't lend things you can't trust other people with. It's that simple. That's why I told you no so many times. I didn't want to lend you that dress, but you just insulted and guilt-tripped me, like you usually do, and then went crying to your mother. In the end, I had to lend it to you because your mother told me to. You coerced me. I knew that you wouldn't be able to say no to my mom. I guess that when it comes to my mom, you can't act like you're better than her because you're scared she might make Ken break up with you. Do you really think that's the reason why I couldn't say no to her? Because that's ridiculous. She wants us to get along, so I agreed to let you borrow that dress in the hope that we could. Clearly, I was wrong. And we were talking about your attitude, not about my relationship with your mother. Please stop changing the topic. This is why old women are so annoying. That's enough. Stop being so childish. I'm surprised my brother even agreed to marry someone like you. I thought you looked old when he introduced you to us, but now I know you really are an annoying old woman. Why on earth did he choose you? You say that I'm an old woman, but I'm only 1 year older than Ken. Does that make him an old man? And how about you? You seem pretty preoccupied with people's age and what they do. But you should keep in mind that you're not that young yourself. What are you talking about? You're old, but I'm still young. But you're already 26, aren't you? You'll be turning 30 in no time. At least I'm still in my 20s. Turning 30 won't change how young I am. That's what I thought too, but according to you, everyone around is secretly laughing and gossiping about our age. So maybe you ought to take care as well. Yeah, well, unlike you, I'm not an old woman, and it'll be a long time before I look like one, so you don't have to worry about me. I'm as young as ever. Oh, really? But you don't want to have an old age pregnancy, so I guess that means that you'll have to get started soon or it'll be too late for you. You don't want to end up like me having kids at 33, do you? Then I wonder what the best age is. You were saying that the best age to get married is between 25 and 27, so I guess you'd want to have children soon after. Yeah, that's right. So what about it? If that's the plan, then you better hurry up and find a guy to marry. If you say that women should be married by the time they're 27, then you're running out of time. What? I don't need you telling me that. I can find a guy to marry me whenever I want. I don't even have to look. There are plenty of guys that want to marry a girl like me. Are you sure? I don't remember you having any boyfriends in all the time I've been with your brother. I haven't had any boyfriends, but there are like a lot of guys who are interested. And I get asked out all the time. Whenever I'm out with friends, the guys are all over me. You'd never understand that, would you? Since nobody is interested in dating an old woman. Then why don't you go out with them? Don't you want to get married soon? Because I have standards. I have high expectations from a guy who wants to date me. I'm not going to date some scruffy old guy off the street. I need to find somebody that deserves to date me. But that's obviously going to be difficult since I'm so pretty and smart. So what kind of person would they have to be for you to want to date them? Who would be worthy? Well, he'd have to be handsome and definitely tall. I can't stand with a man that's shorter than me. That would be so embarrassing. He's got to have graduated from college, preferably one of the top universities in the country, and he's got to be rich. Good luck with that. Maybe you're the one that needs a reality check. What? Why? What are you trying to say? I'm telling you, you need to snap back to reality. Do you really think that a perfect guy like that exists? Even if he did, why would he choose you? Do you really think anyone would want to marry you when you think like that? Are you blind? I'm cute. There's no reason why anybody wouldn't want to date me. Unlike you, I was super popular with the boys in high school. You're just saying all of this because you're jealous of me. You wouldn't understand what it's like because the only person willing to date you was my brother. You're right, I don't understand what it's like to be popular, and I was lucky to meet your brother. But I think I understand the reason why you don't have a boyfriend and haven't had one for a long time. What did you just say? Your horrible taste in fashion could still be considered cute if you weren't so judgmental and insulting about other people's appearances. Not only that, you go out of your way to find other people's weaknesses to make comments that hit them right where it hurts. You like to belittle other people just to soothe your inferiority complex. Why on earth would anyone love you? Why on earth would anyone want to spend the rest of their life with you? Shut up! Shut up, you old ugly woman! That's none of your business. You're already 26 and you're still acting out. I think guys would expect more maturity from a woman in their late 20s. Shut up! Shut up or I'll rip your stupid dress up and throw it out with my garbage. If you do, I'll be charging you for it. By the way, the only reason you were popular in high school was because your face was cute. That doesn't mean your personality was cute. So what if it was just my face? I'm cute. Cuter than you and everyone else, and that's all that matters. When you become an adult, it's not just appearances that matter. No matter how pretty you are, your lack of a decent personality and attitude is enough to put off any guy. And it's starting to make its mark on your cute face. What? What is? Your bad personality is starting to show on your face. Even your brother mentioned to me that you look older than I do. Before making horrible comments about how other people look, perhaps you should look at yourself in the mirror properly. After years of grievances from Lily, Mona finally managed to turn the tables on Lily and give her a taste of her own medicine. Mona's pent-up frustration with Lily was finally released, and she wasn't bothered by Lily ever again. It turned out that Lily had been hiding Mona's dress after getting a stain on it at the wedding. Lily's mother found it hidden away when Mona asked her for help in looking for it. Lily's efforts to pretend that she hadn't done anything wrong were futile, and she had to compensate Mona for the dress. At first she refused to pay, but her own parents and her brother got furious with her, and she had no choice but to pay Mona with her own money. Ever since their talk, Lily looked like she was bothered by what she had been told by Mona, and began attending speed dating parties to meet potential partners. Unfortunately for her, she wasn't as popular as she might have hoped. In fact, she was overwhelmingly unpopular, and has taken part in 30 different parties, but hasn't been asked to go out privately by any of the people she spoke to. It looks like it'll be a long time before she can find her perfect man. Leah, hurry up and respond to my messages. You had your hospital appointment today, right? I thought I told you to tell me what the doctor said. Hi, Hannah. I'm sorry, I was having lunch. Thank you for worrying about me. I wasn't worried about you. I want to know about the baby. He'll be taking over our family business in the future, so of course I need to know if he's healthy. You took your time getting pregnant, but it was worth the wait. And I've been waiting a long time for this. You know the sex, don't you? Please tell me it's a baby boy. Well, I heard the sex, but does it really matter? Don't be ridiculous. Of course it matters. I want my answer. Is it a boy or girl? What did the doctor say? He said that it'll be a boy. At least, that's what it looks like at the moment. Really? It's a boy! Thank God! I'll be having a grandson. I'm so glad. It was worth all the trouble up until now. Kevin will finally be having a baby boy. Now I won't have to worry about the family business. I'm sorry, I don't understand. Why are you so obsessed with the sex all of a sudden? What are you talking about? Kevin's my eldest son. We needed you to give birth to a boy, or we wouldn't have anyone to take over the business after Kevin's grown old and retired. We don't have any use for a girl, so you did a good job giving us a boy. But make sure you keep him healthy. If he's born big and strong, then you'll have completed your mission as a good wife. Thank goodness Kevin found a young girl like you. There's less risk of having a miscarriage. Well, it's a shame you're already almost 30. But considering there's a 12-year age gap between you and Kevin, he did very well. You gave us your blessing because I was young? Not because you thought we would make each other happy? Don't be so naive. Did you really think that? I would have never let my Kevin marry a poor woman from a family with no history like yours if you weren't young. Being young was the only thing that made you better than the other candidates. Oh, really? I never knew that you thought of me like that. I'm kinda shocked. I thought you were happy for us. Well, you've given us a boy. That's all that matters. You've proved your worth. Unlike all of the other useless women that came before you, you should be proud. The women that came before me? What do you mean? Are you really sure it's going to be a boy? Did you look at the ultrasound yourself? If it isn't a boy, I'll be very disappointed. It's not 100%, but the doctor said that it looks like it'll be a boy. What? It's not 100%? What's that supposed to mean? Is it a boy or isn't it? The doctor warned me that a prenatal test is never definite. They said they can't promise that it'll be born a boy, but it's likely that it will be. We'll just have to wait until the baby's born to see. I don't mind whether it's a boy or a girl, so it'll be a nice surprise either way. I don't want a surprise, I want a boy! Technology is supposed to be so advanced nowadays, why can't they give us a simple answer? They should be ashamed to call themselves doctors if they can't even tell whether it's going to be a boy or girl. The family business is resting on this. Go back to the hospital and confirm whether it's a boy or girl. Otherwise, I won't acknowledge you as my daughter-in-law. Acknowledge me? I'm sorry, are you being serious? I've already married Kevin. Whether you like me or not, nothing will change that. And whether I have a son or not has nothing to do with you, too. What do you plan to do if the baby turns out to be a girl? If it's a girl, then I have no choice. We won't need you anymore, so you'll have to leave. There's no point in keeping you as my son's wife if you can't even do something as simple as give birth to a boy. Wow. Well, at least I know how you actually feel about me. By the way, what did you mean when you said the women that came before me earlier? Has Kevin married before? You don't know. I guess he hasn't told you. About what? Kevin's already been married 3 times. What? He never told me anything. Why didn't either of you tell me that? Then it just means that he didn't think it was necessary to tell you. Well, it doesn't matter to me. That was his decision to make. It's not like we have an obligation to tell you anything. You're just a housewife. Wait a minute. This is too sudden. Why did they get divorced? Did he want to leave them, or did they each tell him they wanted a divorce? They couldn't give us a boy. Each one of them got pregnant, but when we found out that they would be girls, we had no use for them. What? Because they were pregnant with girls? Did you hear that from the doctors? Hang on, so that means that Kevin already has children with several other women? That's right, he has 1 child with every ex-wife, if you count them as his children. They were all useless women that could only give birth to girls, so I don't consider them to be my grandchildren. It was a shame that Kevin had to waste his time with them. You should be careful, and make sure you don't end up the same way. You've got to give us a boy. It's not a matter of whether I take care or not. I can't control whether I have a boy or girl. Does Kevin agree with you on this? Is that what he's really thinking as well? That he wants a boy over a girl? What? Of course he does. What do you expect? He agrees with me on putting the business first. He knows that we need a boy, and that's why he brought you, because you're young. So I'm the same as the other 3 women he married? I'm just a womb whose only use is to prepare an heir to your business? I'm just a tool to you. Well put. That's exactly what you're here for. I'm glad you understand, and I hope you can meet that expectation. But the 3 other women ended up being useless, so I wonder how you'll turn out. I wouldn't be surprised if you were just as useless, considering your background. I can't believe I even have to say this. We're not your tools. I'm not here to push out babies for you. Then what else could you possibly do? More importantly, that doctor is no good. He's always so vague about the sex. He needs to tell us which it is clearly, or we really have to wait until the baby is born to decide whether to throw you out. Maybe I should find another doctor to look at you. But first, let's go visit the doctor you saw today and have them check again. You might have misheard them or remembered incorrectly. Excuse me? You want me to go to the hospital again? Together? I'll make him give us an answer on what the sex is. Are you ready? I want you to come and collect me in 15 minutes. I have to go and collect you? I'm pregnant. You have a car, so it'll be easier for you to come here. You really are inconsiderate. Why on earth should I go to you? Anyway, make sure you're not late. I spoke on the phone with Kevin about the results of the ultrasound, but he told me he was busy and to ask you instead. He only told me that he didn't care as long as you were happy, and that I should follow your orders. He's such a good son. Then that makes things much simpler. I want you to divorce my son. I'm not so surprised now that I know what you both really want. The doctor said that the probability of it being a girl was high when they did the ultrasound again, so I guess that confirms things for you. Fine, I accept the divorce. I don't think I could spend another day with this family knowing what you actually think of me, so I'll leave happily. Let's get this over and done with. Don't worry, it'll be over in no time. I had the divorce papers prepared ever since you got married to my son, just in case. They've already been filed in on my son's side, signatures and all, so all you have to do is fill out your section. I'm sure I handed them to you after the ultrasound. Do you have them? Yes, you gave them to me. I have them right here. I wanted to do this after talking things through with Kevin and hearing how he really feels about all this. But he said that he didn't care and doesn't seem to be very interested in staying together, so I'll fill them out straight away. I'll give you your divorce. I'm glad you understand. Then that's that. We won't have anything to do with one another. You said you want me to divorce your son because I'm not pregnant with a boy, right? I think that means I have a right to file for a fault divorce. Will you agree to a settlement? You've got nerve asking about something like that. Just because you can blame us doesn't mean you can use this as a chance to leech off of us. That wasn't my intention. I was just thinking about my child's future. I'll be raising them alone and won't be able to work for a while, so I'll need child support. Fine, whatever you say. Next, we'll have to look for a woman who's from a prestigious family and won't ask for something as shallow as money. It was my mistake letting my son marry someone like you. How much do you want? I'll have the money transferred to your bank account. Happy? In regards to the child support, I'd like to speak with a lawyer first before deciding anything here. I don't want to go back and forth if you don't agree to what I ask. But other than the child support, I'd like to be compensated. Yes, whatever. We'll pay it, just as long as you leave us alone after the divorce. But don't expect us to pay alimony permanently. You've only been married to Kevin for less than a year, so you don't deserve anything more than temporary. If you disagree, then we'll have to take this to court. You should already know by now that we have the money to pay for the best attorneys. I'd like $10,000 paid into my account as compensation. I'll be demanding child support separately after talking to my lawyer and calculating how much I'll need. You're asking for more than I expected, but there's no helping it. If this means that we won't have anything to do with you and you won't bother us, then fine, we'll pay it. Consider it done. Could you transfer it right now? I'd prefer that we clear that up so that we can avoid any problems. It's not like we have a contract, so I don't want you to be going back on your word. Fine, I'm going to the bank right now, but that's it. The talk about child support will be dealt with between our lawyers, and I don't want any contact from you. Don't come near my Kevin either. Oh, don't worry about that. I've already returned to my parents' house. I don't want anything to do with you or your son either, and I hope you won't bother me and my family after my baby is born. I'm fine with that. I have no intention of going to see you or your daughter. I've transferred $10,000. Goodbye. By the way, you reminded me when you just referred to my baby as my daughter. But I think you were there when the doctor said that they couldn't be sure that it would be a girl either. Well, yes, but he said it was possible that it could be a girl. He's always clouding his answers, but if he says that there's a chance it could be a girl, then we don't want it. Apparently, it's normal for doctors to say that. It's typical for doctors to be unclear about what the sex of a baby is because it's not certain until the baby's born. What do you mean? After we went to have the ultrasound done, I was a bit curious, so I called Kevin's younger brother's wife, Lydia, and I asked about Kevin's previous marriages. This might be a bit of a shock to you, but I heard that Kevin's first and third wife gave birth to sons after you made Kevin divorce them. What? That can't be true! You must be joking. They were all told that they would be having girls. That's why I had Kevin divorce them. How could they give birth to boys if they were told they could be pregnant with girls? That's just how they phrase it. The doctor tells us that they're sure that it'll be a baby boy, but says that it could be either, so that the parents don't get too preoccupied on what the sex is. Tests aren't 100% definitive, and you never know if the baby you were told was a girl might just have had underdeveloped sexual organs. That's why they keep their answers vague. So you're telling me that quack doctor lied to me? And if Kevin's ex-wives really did give birth to boys, then why haven't they told us? Why should I believe you when they haven't said anything? I'm telling you, it's not definitive. That doesn't make the doctor a liar. As for Kevin's exes, maybe they're just annoyed with you and don't want you to ruin their child's lives with all this talk about boys and tools and stuff. I heard that they don't want to have anything to do with you. Lydia told me that her husband is a second son, and they live pretty far away, so they have it much easier since they don't have to deal with you so much. But she feels bad that she couldn't be there for me. Wait a second. If Kevin's ex-wives have 2 sons, then that means that we already have 2 candidates to take over the family business. This is perfect. Yes, I suppose that would mean that, but you've already put restraining orders on Kevin's exes, haven't you? You said that you didn't want to have anything to do with them, and asked that they don't ever come near you, just like you just said to me. Of course I did. What else could I have done? They might come asking for money in return for them not telling the neighbors about their children. Then I guess that means that you can't see their children either. How ironic. That's ridiculous. They're my grandchildren. They're my heirs. Also, even if my baby turns out to be a boy, I don't plan on letting you meet him. Of course, even if it's a girl, I won't let you come near her. Once you've paid the child support, I don't want to have any contact. Oh, don't say that. It'll be better for the child if he has both parents, and he'll want to know his grandmother. I believe you can give us a boy, so why don't you come back? Let's forget about this divorce. I'll let you live in my house and I'll take care of the housework. You're still pregnant, so you should relax. What do you think? Oh, you're a bit too late. I've already filed the divorce papers. What a shame. Huh? Already? Isn't that too fast? I thought it was too fast as well, but you know, monster-in-laws have a reputation for complaining that things are too late. I thought I should file it as soon as possible. I didn't want to be a pain in the ass if I didn't file it on time. And I wanted to cut ties with you and your son as soon as possible. My brother is a lawyer, so I'll be able to talk to him about the child support straight away. And I'll get back to you as soon as possible. But I'll be writing up a restraining order, so from now on, you'll have to contact my lawyer when you need to discuss something. Please don't ever call me again. You're the worst mother-in-law. And now that I think about it, with his ideals, Kevin is way too old for me. Plus, he's balding. I think remarrying him is out of the question. After that, Leah consulted her brother and managed to decide on a settlement with Kevin and his mother. She requested that it be paid in one go so that she wouldn't have to have contact with them ever again. Hannah had to prepare the entire amount within days because of Kevin's complaint that it made them look bad if they didn't pay Leah as soon as possible. Apparently, she was reluctant when it came to signing the restraining order, but when Leah offered to decrease the amount Hannah had to pay in child support, she accepted the conditions and gave in. A few months later, Leah's baby was born, and she announced that it was a baby boy. Of course, she had no intention of letting Kevin or Hannah meet him. Unfortunately for Kevin, he had lost a lot more hair and gained a few more pounds since Leah had left, and he was having trouble finding someone that was willing to marry him. Karma does exist after all.
Have you made it home yet?
Not yet.
You're heading there now, right?
Yes, I am.
Remember, if you show up too late, you're gonna be bothering my mom, so make sure you keep that in mind, okay?
Yeah.
What is that attitude? You should be ecstatic. You're gonna be with my mom for over a month. You should be more excited.
Why should I be? I'm literally pregnant right now. Can't believe you're saying what you're saying right now.
What, this again? We already talked about this enough, didn't we? Why do you keep bringing it up?
I'm just saying that most of the time when people go home for their pregnancy, they mean they go home to their wives' parents, not her husband's. You're probably the only person in the world who would send his own wife to his parents' house.
What do you mean, send? I just said things that made perfect sense. You're off work anyway. You should be able to help Mom out. It shouldn't be a problem, right? You're probably bored anyway when you're on maternity leave. Mom is already getting old. You need to start taking care of things around the house. What are you gonna do if something happens to Mom?
Do you understand the intention behind maternity leave? It means that I'm going to be pushing a baby out, so I need to make sure to rest and focus on that. That's already going to be tough pushing out a watermelon. You're trying to make me take care of your own parents, too. I've seriously kind of lost hope in you.
Why are you talking about that now? Mom is already waiting on you. Can you hurry up? Why don't you ever teach you how to cook? You're not that good of a cook anyway. I wish she'd really learn from my mom, you know? I wish I had a wife that was just like my mom. I can't believe a wife that would possibly start throwing a tantrum just because she's gonna have a baby. I really don't understand. And you have the audacity to call yourself my wife?
Just having a baby? I'm thinking that's more audacious than what I'm saying.
What are you talking about? It hasn't even been born yet. You're off for a whole month. You're just gonna do nothing at home anyway. That means you should be helping someone. Besides, you already agreed to the whole thing. Stop complaining. I wanted to go home to my parents' house with you. There's really nothing that beats my mom's handmade cooking.
Then you should go home.
Stop being like that. I would have gone home if I could have, but I have work to do. It's not like I have a choice. Unlike you, I can't just take off to do nothing by taking maternity leave. It must be nice being a woman. It must be so easy.
I'm seriously getting tired of hearing about you. I don't think I can keep doing this with you. Everything you say has made me feel from bad to worse.
Huh? What are you talking about? What I'm saying right now is pretty common in life. It's not like it's crazy. Literally everyone thinks the same thing I do.
Okay, then why don't you talk to the people around you? You seem to like to say that it's easy to have a child, but it's not like you've ever experienced having a child at all. How could you possibly say that?
My mom already gave birth to kids though, but she didn't take off of her work.
Did you ask her yourself?
No, I didn't ask her, but I'm sure that my mom would never take off like that. She's a really strong and independent woman, so she would never take off just because she needs to give birth.
Okay, sure. If that's what you want to believe, then you can.
Anyway, stop your bitching and moaning, seriously. I'm letting you stay at my parents' house. You better do what you can for my mom. Once you have the baby, I'll be sure to show up and say hey. Good luck!
You don't have to come say hey. Come to think of it, I don't ever want to see you again.
What are you talking about? That's not how you should talk to your husband. Especially considering you're gonna be staying in my parents' house from now on. How could you be like that? You really don't have any kind of thank yous or graciousness?
Nope, not at all, because I'm not going there.
Huh? You're not?
Nope, I'm definitely not. I'm not going to your parents' house.
But a second ago you said you were.
Yeah, sorry, I'm going to my parents' house. You know, not yours?
Huh? What are you talking about? You said you were gonna go home today.
Yeah, I said go home. I never said whose home I would be going to. When I brought up going home for my childbirth, I didn't tell you, but the fact that you tried to send me to your parents' house, it made me think of you as something less than trash. It actually made me think that all the time I spent with you in my life was a waste.
Wait, hang on, that's going too far. What the hell are you talking about? You need to calm down.
I am calm. I've been thinking calmly. And after calmly thinking for the last month, things like you're being a complete spoiled brat taking off just because you're giving birth. Or if you have time to do that, you should take care of my mom. Or you married into the family, so going home to your own parents' house. So stop acting like a spoiled brat. You sound like some shitty husband straight out of a 40s movie. You keep making these statements that show clearly that you're into harassment and somehow in love with your mother still. I've decided to divorce you.
Wait, what? Divorce? What is going on all of a sudden? I didn't hear about this at all. I could never have predicted this would ever have happened.
Yeah, because I kept it from you. But I've already decided. Tried to teach some sense into you and make you understand me, but you really don't listen to me. You just keep pushing your opinion through as if it's the only thing that's right. Honestly, I've just kind of felt like it's enough.
What's enough? It's not enough. So, you're not gonna be going home then?
I said I am. I'm going to my own home. I already told Mom that you'd be going home. I know that she's getting ready for you.
Well, this is the absolute worst. Why would you do such a thing? You could have at least tried to talk to me about it.
Tried to talk to you? I've literally told you about what I thought numerous times. You were the one that continued to completely ignore me.
I didn't mean to.
It's also kind of interesting that I'm over here telling you that I want a divorce, and you're over here worried about what your mom is doing to get ready.
I'm sure you're just messing around with the divorce, right? You're just doing this whole thing to make me apologize to you, right? I already know what you're thinking.
You seriously don't understand, do you? You'll understand once you get home. I already have all the divorce papers filled out.
What? Are you being serious right now?
Also, I talked to your mom already. I just went ahead and called her just now. I didn't want her to think that I would be going today. You're a terrible husband with a really bad mommy complex, but Mom wasn't really a bad person or anything.
What are you talking about, being terrible husband with a mommy complex? You should seriously watch your tone when you talk to people.
You realize that she was apologizing, right?
Huh?
She said that she raised you wrong. Sorry for raising such a stupid son.
What? Why?
Apparently, Mom thought that I couldn't go home to my parents because they were too far. That's why she thought I was going to her house. She said I didn't have to do any of the things around the house. She said that she was getting things ready so that I would be able to prepare it and get ready for the baby. Because, you know, you said that I would be going to her house, all without me agreeing with you. She got everything all ready. It's literally your fault she wasted her time.
That's what Mom said? But why? It's just childbirth.
Just childbirth? Are you stupid? No, seriously, answer the question. Are you dumb? It's literally one human being pushed out of another human being. You can never do it in your entire life. Can you stop pretending like your little story about how childbirth is easy is true? Mom was even agreeing with me. She's a seriously tough mother-in-law, but she even told me that after I gave birth, I didn't have to do anything. She was totally fine with doing everything for me. She said that she felt really bad for not being able to teach you anything. And that the divorce makes complete sense so she can't argue with me. She literally agreed with me.
Are you serious? I didn't know that. Fine. Maybe, just maybe I was wrong this time. So please just go to my parents' home. I'll head over tonight right away. Let's talk there.
No, I'm not going there. This whole thing about childbirth was one thing, but for the month that you found out about my maternity leave, you never stopped to listen to my opinion. I was seriously at a loss for words at your actions. I'm supposed to raise a child from now on. I couldn't do it with you. I really, truly do believe that now.
Hang on. Are you being dead serious about the divorce thing right now? This isn't some kind of performance?
What are you talking about, performance? I'm going to be a mom now. I figured I would just let go of things I don't need.
Things I don't need? That's way too rude. I was excited for the baby food too.
You were excited for the baby. You were the one saying that I shouldn't be a spoiled brat just because I'm having a baby. You're a piece of shit that has no idea how stressed I was.
I'm sorry about that. I wasn't being considerate enough of your feelings.
That's very true. I think that you'll be able to pay for the child support from now on. You can support the both of us that way.
You serious? Are you seriously gonna divorce me? You're not gonna be living with me?
I'm not going to be living with you. You literally ignored me for an entire month. You should have caught on way sooner, bub. It's way too late now. I'm already at my parents' house. I've already talked about everything to my parents. Why don't you get lectured by your own mother? You seem to only care about your mom. And her opinions anyways. All right, good luck on your own. Just because you're working doesn't mean you're allowed to be a spoiled brat. Afterwards, Mark received a call from his mother at home, and he was lectured for a good 3 hours about everything and about how difficult labor can be. Mark probably cannot comprehend how badly it hurts. Afterwards, he kept contacting her to repair things and live with her. It was non-stop calls and texts, but Joanna just hung out at her house. She also gave birth to a really healthy young baby boy. He agreed to pay for all the child support later on, so eventually he'll be able to see his son. However, she decided that she would keep her distance for a while.